Robert Enke was a German football goalkeeper. Enke played at leading clubs in several European countries, namely Barcelona, Benfica and Fenerbahçe Section E, but made the majority of his appearances for Bundesliga side Hannover 96 in his homeland. He won 8 full international caps for the German national team between 2007 and his death in 2009, and was part of the squad which finished as runners-up in Euro 2008. On November 10, 2009, Enke committed suicide. At the time of his death, he was widely considered to be a leading contender for the German number 1 spot at the 2010 World Cup. Personal life: Robert Enke was married to former modern pentathlete Theresa Riemann and had a daughter, Lara, who was born with a heart birth defect. She was rendered deaf by the drugs against her heart problems. Her cochlear implant surgery was successful, but she died due to complications of her heart defects. In May 2009, they adopted a baby girl, Layla. Enke lived with his family on a small farm in Impede, near Neustadt am Rhein Benberg, until his death in November 2009. Enke and his wife were involved in several animal rights campaigns, and they owned many pets. He lent his face to the PETA campaign against the fur industry. Club career: Enke was born on August 24, 1977 in Jena, where he grew up in a flat in the district of Lebeda. He was the youngest of 3 children born to Dirk Enke, a sports psychologist, and Gisela Enke. He began playing football from an early age, initially playing as a striker, before making the switch to goalkeeper, where he displayed obvious talent. He joined Karl Zeiss Jena in 1985 after an impressive performance while playing against them in a youth team match for SV Jenapham. He rose through the youth ranks at the club, and in 1993, he played for the Germany under-15 national team against England at Wembley Stadium. The game finished 0-0, with Enke receiving praise for multiple saves made throughout the match. At the age of 17, Enke signed his first professional contract with Karl Zeiss Jena. Early career: Enke worked his way up to the first team at Karl Zeiss Jena during the 1995 Euro 96 season. He made his professional debut on November 11, 1995, against future club Hannover 96 in the 2. Bundesliga. He was given the opportunity after first-choice Mario Neumann conceded 14 goals in just 3 matches, prompting coach Eberhard Vogel to drop him for the youngster Enke. Enke played 3 games during November 1995, but Neumann was restored to the team after this period and Enke did not appear for the first team again that season. The goalkeeper actually would never play for the club again as he was signed by Bundesliga club Borussia Mönchengladbach in the summer of 1996. Enke spent his first 2 seasons here with the club's U23 side, playing in the lower leagues, as well as for the under-21 national team and honing his talent, studying the club's number 1 goalkeeper Jörg Kamps. His chance came on the eve of the 1998 Euro 99 season when Jörg Kamps suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon and new coach Friedel Rausch gave Enke his big chance to finally make his club debut. His first Bundesliga game came on August 15, 1998 in a 3-0 win over Schalke 04 that put them top of the table. However, this position quickly changed as, despite Enke's best efforts, 15 goals were scored past him in just 1 week. The club plummeted to the foot of the league where they remained from October until their eventual relegation. Life abroad: in June 1999, he joined Benfica in Portugal, signing a 3-year contract, and becoming one of 4 goalkeepers on the team's books. Enke had a history of panic attacks and had second thoughts soon after signing for the team. He realized however that, having signed a contract, he was obliged to fulfill it. The club were then managed by Enke's countryman Jupp Heynckes, who promptly made him captain. His time in Portugal was a turbulent one, as the club changed manager 3 times in his 3 seasons there and suffered their lowest ever league finish in a trophyless spell, beset by financial difficulties that caused players' wages to often be late. Despite these problems, Enke's performances gained him the admiration of Encarnados fans, as well as interest from clubs like Arsenal, Atletico Madrid and Manchester United chasing him. After contract talks with Benfica stalled, Enke took up the offer of Spanish giants Barcelona and moved on a free transfer in June 2002 on a 3-year deal. Life at the Camp Nou proved tough for Enke. He later labelled the goalkeeper's spot at Barça Section A as the most difficult goalkeeping position in Europe as he ended up playing second choice to Roberto Bonanno and then Victor Valde. Copyright S. His debut set the mark, as the club was humiliatingly knocked out of the Spanish Cup by third-flight Novelda CF at the first hurdle on September 11, 2002 and was criticised by teammate Frank de Boer in public for his part in their exit. His brief taste of La Liga came in a 20-minute appearance as a substitute in a 2-2 draw at Osasuna on March 2, 2003. He did manage to sample some European action during his spell though, as he made 2 UEFA Champions League appearances, against Bruges and Galatasaray in the group stage. The following season, as Frank Rijkaard replaced Louis van Gaal as coach, Enke was loaned out to Turkish side Fenerbahçe Section A then managed by German coach Christoph Daum as part of the deal that saw Ra 1/4 YTA 1/4 Re Section B move to the Spanish club. However, his career continued to stall as he managed to play just a solitary game there, a traumatic 0-3 defeat to Istanbulspor on August 10, 2003. His own fans pelted him with fire lighters and bottles during the game, blaming him for this bitter defeat. These scenes caused Enke to immediately quit the club and his planned 1-year loan and return to Spain. It was at this time that Enke suffered his first spell of depression, and led to him almost quitting football altogether. After a 4-month spell back at Barcelona, but outside the first-team squad, Enke dropped down to the Spanish Segunda División when he was loaned to CD Tenerife in January 2004 for the remainder of the season. Here, he enjoyed an upturn, performing strongly and winning acclaim from the fans and other clubs. Although he believed his career was destined to remain in the lower leagues, he left Tenerife to join Hannover 96 in the Bundesliga. Bundesliga return. Following his return to form at CD Tenerife, Enke returned to his homeland, joining Bundesliga side Hannover 96 in July 2004 on a free transfer in an initial 2-year deal. His career enjoyed its greatest success and stability, as he became firmly established as the club's first choice and was voted the best goalkeeper in the league by his fellow professionals in Kicker magazine. Such form caused Enke to be linked with moves to larger clubs, particularly VfB Stuttgart. In December 2006, however, he ended this speculation by signing a contract extension with Hannover 96 until the end of the 2009 Euro 10 season. He was elected team captain by his teammates for the 2007 Euro 08 season, a role he would retain for the rest of his career. He again won the Best Goalkeeper award for the 2008 Euro 09 season, which would tragically prove his final full campaign. Enke played 180 times for Hannover 96 in total. He made the final appearance of his career on November 8, 2009 in a 2-2 draw at home to Hamburg, just 2 days before his death. International career. Enke first represented his country in 1997 whilst playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach, winning a place in the German under-21 side and retained the number 1 jersey for the remainder of the season, playing 15 times in total. His performances there convinced former national team coach Eric Ribbeck to include him in the squad for the 1999 Confederations Cup, although he did not feature in any games. His international career then stalled when he left Germany and he was not considered again until his return to the Bundesliga. The growing acclaim he enjoyed after saw him in contention for the 2006 FIFA World Cup squad, under Ja 1/4 Gen Klinsmann, although he missed out ultimately. He succeeded in breaking into the squad shortly after, under new coach Joachim Löw in being chosen for a friendly against Georgia, and, after first choice Jens Lehmann caught the flu, again against Cyprus. He finally made his senior international debut for Germany in a 0-1 friendly defeat to Denmark in Duisburg on March 28, 2007. After further games, he was selected for their Euro 2008 squad which would compete in Austria and Switzerland. Enke was an unused substitute during the tournament that saw Germany finish as runners-up. With the international retirement of previous number 1 Jens Lehmann at Euro 2008, Enke was poised to make the position his own and played in several World Cup 2010 qualifiers. However, in October 2008, he broke the scaphoid of his left hand while training with the national team for a qualifier against Russia. After undergoing surgery, he was sidelined for 2 months. Upon his return in January 2009, he again became the number 1 keeper in the national team. In September and October 2009, Enke was again out of action for several weeks. The reason given to the Hannover 96 coaching was an intestinal infection Campylobacter, although it is revealed in Ronald Ring's book A Life Too Short, The Tragic Story of Robert Enke, that this was only partly true and in fact Enke's depression had returned. He did not return to football until late October, as a result of which he was not called up for a friendly against Chile for which the national team was preparing when he died. This game was subsequently called off as a mark of respect to Enke. He died having won 8 full international caps. His final international appearance came on August 12, 2009 when he kept a clean sheet against Azerbaijan. Death. On the night of November 10, 2009, at the age of 32, Enke committed suicide when he stood in front of a regional express train at a level crossing in Ilves, Neustadt am Rhein-Quarter Benberg. Police confirmed a suicide note was discovered but would not publicize its details. His widow, Teresa, revealed that her husband had been suffering from depression for 6 years and was treated by a psychiatrist. After the death of his daughter Lara in 2006, he struggled to cope with the loss. Many fans immediately flocked to Hannover 96's AWD Arena home to lay flowers and light candles and sign the Book of Condolences upon news breaking. His former club Barcelona held a minute's silence before their game that night, and several international matches the following weekend paid the same tribute. As a mark of respect, the German national team cancelled their friendly match against Chile which had been scheduled for November 14. A minute's silence was also held at all Bundesliga games during 21 on November 22, 2009 and at Benfica's game in the Cup of Portugal. Germany also cancelled a planned training session and all interviews after his death. Oliver Bierhoff, the national team's general manager, said, "We are all shocked. We are lost for words." On November 15, 2009, nearly 40,000 attendees filled the AWD Arena for his memorial service. Enke's coffin, covered in white roses, was carried by 6 of his Hannover 96 teammates. He was then buried in Neustadt, outside Hannover, next to his daughter's grave. As a further mark of respect for their former teammate, the players of Hannover 96 displayed the number 1 in a circle on the breast of their jerseys, as approved by the DFL as a subtle tribute, for the rest of the 2009 Euro 10 Bundesliga season. Biography: Enke's life was memorialized by Ronald Ring in the biography A Life Too Short, The Tragedy of Robert Enke. The book won the William Hill Sports Book of the Year in 2011. Robert Enke Foundation, the Deutsche Fußball-Bund, Hannover 96 and the Deutsche Fußball-Liga will participate in a foundation in memory of Enke. The foundation will deal primarily with mental health of players. Gallery. References. External links, official website, Robert Enke at Fußballstunde, ESPN profile, text, audio, video of Theo Zwanziger's eulogy for Robert Enke.